Hey, it's Amber from Orange Olive Road. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all my videos. In this video, you will learn how to make these adorable ghosts on your knitting machine. Let's get started. To make your large ghosts, you'll need a large and small knitting machine and some yarn, worsted or velvet, some yarn for embellishments, felt for your mouth, a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, hot glue gun, polyfill, and safety eyes. So these are 35 millimeter and these are 28. Whatever size you choose is up to you. Let's go ahead and cast on. I am using a provisional cast on where I go back and forth in front and behind each needle all the way around. Once I've casted on, I am going to go ahead and knit 140 rows. I'm going to cast off by picking every stitch up off the loom, and then once it's off, I'm going to give it a nice stretch. Now you're going to pull the center like this, and you're going to put the wrong sides together, almost like you're making a beanie. So as you're working, you want to make sure that you smooth out any lumps, bumps, etc. Okay, so get those ends nice and neat, and again, keep massaging until all those lumps and bumps are out. Now this end here, we're going to pull it shut. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the center one, and then I'm going to pull the outer one. Okay, and again, as you're doing this, before you secure it with a knot, you want to make sure that you tuck your hand inside and really massage the work, making sure that you're pulling out or smoothing out as many of the lumps as possible. This is going to be our head, so the smoother it is, the better it looks. Now we're going to go ahead and secure it with the surgeon's knot. Now, if you have a little bit of a gap at the top like this, don't worry. You can pick that up with a needle a little bit later on. So again, go put your hand back in there and massage out as many of the lumps as possible. All right, so now that I've got my work, I need to determine where I'm going to put my face. So usually one side looks a little better than the other. So as I kind of, feel for those lumps, I want to try to take a look and see what I want. This side looks pretty good for the face. So I'll put my eyes here. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to start putting stitches here in the back. Now, when you're looking at your work, you want to go approximately a third of the way down. Now, if you have larger safety eyes, you can go ahead and go a little further, but about 1/3 of the way down for your head is going to be approximately right if you're using about a 28 millimeter size eye. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put your needle in here. It's easier if you put your hand inside your work, and you are going to pick up every other stockinette stitch. Okay, so I'm going to tuck my needle in there like that, keep my thread nice and tidy as much as possible, and I'm going to go all the way around like this. Now I'm going to come in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing, but again, I'm going to weave, there we go, in and out and around. Again, keep that from twisting as much as possible, so you might need to take a little bit of care and work on that as you go around. But again, put in my stitches every couple of stitches all the way around. Now that I've got my head, I'm going to go ahead and put my safety eyes. So I'm going to choose these 28 millimeter eyes. So put them in, and now I'm ready to stuff my head. So I'm going to keep adding stuffing. Now you want to fill out as much of that as possible. So keep adding stuffing until it's nice, well, as nice and smooth as possible. And now we're going to start to pull on these neck stitches here. You'll see the stuffing kind of come down a little bit. That is okay. Keep pushing the stuffing into the head as you pull the neck stitches. That will help keep it shape. Okay, so again, this is going to take a little bit of massaging and finagling, but that is okay, right? The more stuffing you add and the more you massage the top of the head, the better it's going to look. Don't overstuff it. You don't want to overstitch, stretch the stitches, but again, nice and neat work as much as possible. Once you're satisfied with your head, you're going to go ahead and secure the neck. So what you'll do is go ahead and pull those strands as tight as you can without breaking the yarn. Check on the face as you tighten and make those knots. Then you're going to weave in those loose ends. Now we're making the body insert. So go ahead and cast on, and you're going to knit the rows here that you see depending on the yarn that you have. Go ahead and cast off just like this. Now you're going to want to give your work a stretch. I know this is velvet yarn, so it's a little bit more slinky, But what you're going to do is a similar process. You're going to organize those ends, pull right them close just a little bit to kind of keep them organized, and then you're going to fold the work in on itself just like this, as if you're making a smaller beanie. Now we're going to go ahead and pull these ends together. We're going to tie them off like that. Okay, so just tighten them up. I'm going to trim these here, and I'm actually going to use these strands. I'm going to fold it inside out, but I'm going to use those strands here in just a minute to close the other end. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and weave in all the way around so that I can close this in just a sec. Now I'm going to stuff it, and then I'm going to pull it closed. Now this body insert is going to help your ghost keep its body shape. So you're going to start to kind of, push it like this, and you're going to see in just a sec here why we're using it and how it's going to help keep the shape. So now go ahead and close it. Okay, and now we want to shape it. Right now it kind of looks like an oval, and that is perfect. Okay, so start to kind of shape it in oval, less like a circle or a ball, but more like an oval. And then you want to push down one end. So it doesn't matter which end, so almost so it looks like an egg or a little bit of a pear. Okay, so this top piece right here is going to go towards the head, and this bottom piece down here, the fatter piece, is going to be down towards the bottom of your ghost. So again, massage this, right? Now you have kind of this pear or egg shape, and you're going to tuck it inside. I know this is a velvet ghost, but this was a little bit of a later design change, so that's why it looks a little different. But as you put that in there, what you're going to find, right, is that your ghost, all of the stuffing and whatnot is going to stay exactly where it needs to be. And you'll find out why here in just a sec. So as you put in that insert, now you're going to start to smooth over, and now you've kind of got the skirt down towards the bottom. Okay, so smooth it out as much as possible so it's as neat as possible. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're using a worsted yarn to make your ghost or a velvet yarn like this. I've made both, and I'll show you here in a second what it looks like. So kind of pull it down like this, and now that's kind of the belly. So this is what I was talking about. You can see the worsted here. It does not have an insert. Okay, so the worsted yarn will keep the shape a little bit better. Okay, so, but over time, this polyfill that's inside here, it will run all over the place and lose its shape. Now for a velvet one, it's not going to keep its shape, so we need that body insert. Now see for the back here, what we're going to do is you're going to flip your ghost face down, and you're going to fold over each of those ends, just like this. Now velvet yarn is pretty forgiving, right? So you're going to tuck it in as neat as possible, and you should have a little tail that's down there like this. You can see it like that. See how it kind of keeps that shape. And we'll kind of smooth out that polyfill here in just a sec. So, but what you really want to do is you want to sew right here and all the way around. So now you can see that I've sewn it. And again, it's very forgiving. You can barely see it, but I've kind of smushed around that stuffing and kind of give it more of that tapered edge. Gives it a lot better feel. Okay, so now we're actually going to make some limbs. All right, so out of order, I know, but go ahead and cast on either your worsted or your velvet, and here are the row counts for either one. Go ahead and cast off by picking up your rows and give them a stretch, just like this. Okay, you're going to make 2 of these. So I'm going to pull each end just like this, and I'm going to fold it horizontally here. So again, work out those lumps. These are your limbs, so you want them to be neat. Okay, so just massage it, and then we don't stuff it, but what we're just going to do is we're just going to kind of roll it so that the sides touch, just like this. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to take my needle, and I'm going to put in stitches all the way down like this. Okay, so you can use a mattress stitch, you can use a whip stitch. This is going to be facing the body. Nobody's going to see it. Now we want to go ahead and attach our limbs. Okay, so I like to pick up a few stitches right here, just like this. Okay, and kind of tuck it up like that, and kind of weave it back and forth. You want to put your arms at a little bit of an angle, kind of makes it look, I guess, a little more natural. I don't know if that's such a thing as natural for a ghost, but in this particular case, that's what we're doing. This is felt. I am just freehanding an oval, and I am going to cut it out just like this. Add a little bit of hot glue. I've added some eyebrows as well. Be careful you don't burn your fingers, and we're going to put it right here on the face. Burning my finger right there. Okay, awesome. Get that on there nice and secure. And again, those eyebrows. You can add also cheeks if you want to. So here's another ghost I made in worsted weight sparkle yarn. You can see the stitches are the same. This one has a body insert and a larger head. Have fun! Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.